Okay, welcome guys. Welcome back again on this rainy, sunny day on the Canary Islands, and we're going to talk a bit about buoyancy. But before we go on, and to stay on the same page, all of us here, I need to tell you a few things. So, we need to make bubbles. We make bubbles when we go up, and the gas in your lungs will expand when you go up. And if you don't make bubbles or you don't have your airways open, you can get yourself into big problems. So what you've learned until now, because this course is designed for people that already have some kind of certification, is true. You make bubbles when you go up because the gas in your lung expands. So this is an important concept. I do teach the same thing. However, once you're neutrally buoyant and you really understand what neutral buoyancy is, and that's where I want to go, or when you're going down, you're sinking, the bubbles will only cause more issues because you will lose more buoyancy. In a sense, you will go up, you will go down quicker if you're already negatively buoyant and you go, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So that's where I want to go. The same thing here. Once you know what neutral buoyancy is, your brain understands the concept, and you've practiced so much that you know where you are, then it doesn't make any sense to make bubbles when you're neutrally buoyant. If you don't have, if you're switching a regulator or you're practicing out of gas, and you know you're neutrally buoyant, why would you make bubbles? It doesn't make any sense. You go down and your partner or your body would only have to look for you instead of you being at the same page. Okay, so remember, you make bubbles when you go up. Once you're neutrally buoyant and you're sure you're neutrally buoyant, you don't need to make bubbles. And when you go down, please don't make any bubbles because you only sink faster. Okay, so have fun on this part. And don't forget, make them bubbles. Core skills number 2, buoyancy. Read the objective carefully. True buoyancy. I like to use the word true buoyancy for the following. If you, the diver, and your equipment, without breathing, are completely neutrally buoyant. This is the moment in between the exhaling phase and the inhaling phase. Now what you really want here is to extend the moment in between the inhaling phase and the exhaling phase. This is the moment when you're truly neutrally buoyant. Now I'm not saying you can't blow bubbles, but please don't blow any bubbles when you're going down or when you're neutrally buoyant. Have a look at this video. Skill 1. Regulator removal and replacement. Read the objective carefully. Remove your regulator. Mid-breathe, not too much, and enough air or gas in your lungs to be neutrally buoyant. True neutral buoyancy. Make eye contact with your body. Problem 1. Too much gas. You're positive. Now it's time for bubbles. Bubbles in a controlled manner. Bubbles. And you go down and establish neutral buoyancy. Problem 2. Not enough gas in your lungs. You're negative. Inhale as soon as you notice. Don't move your hands too much. Let the gas in the lungs take you up again. Control, that's what we're looking for. Give your body an okay signal. This is team diving. So now, how are we going to practice this? First of all, let's get the concept clear, crystal clear. Okay guys, so the 4 parts of buoyancy. Being positive. True neutral buoyancy. 3, being neutrally buoyant. And 4, being negative. Being positive, this means you go up to the surface. Very dangerous. Once you're going up to the surface, you need to make the bubbles. Also for decompression, it's not a good idea to end up on the surface. And God knows, you got boats up there, or jet skis and all this stuff. So, true buoyancy. I get back to that later. Neutral buoyancy, what you learned in your course. You're breathing, you're doing a Buddha or some kind of neutral buoyancy exercise, and you're kind of trying to stay afloat. And 3, to be negative, you sink. Also very dangerous, because the deeper you go, the more gas you use, your ears, all this stuff. So what we're all aiming for, everyone, is to be neutrally buoyant. However, I want to take it one step further, which I call true buoyancy. True buoyancy is there when your equipment and your body, in between the 2 phases of not breathing, which you always have. Don't let them fool you. It's always there. It's always, and you extend it a little bit, and in between these phases, I want you to be neutrally buoyant. That's the interesting part. This is for your brain to pick up on how much gas is in your lungs. That it knows, like, this is true buoyancy. So when you practice that, your brain picks up on that, and after a while, your buoyancy will get spot on, really. Another trick is also, or a few tricks are really important. You don't want to lose your buoyancy when not necessary. If you're clearing a mask and you lift up your head, it's gone. Your buoyancy is gone. And all of us practice in open water, and instructors, and they say, oh, I don't lose my buoyancy. Yes, you do. At the moment you lift up your head, your buoyancy is gone. So we don't want to do that. We want to clear a mask like this, because now we didn't lose it. And of course you can go like that, but that means that you need to adjust your buoyancy. End of the story. So once you know how to do it like that, once you take it a step further in cave diving, cavern diving, technical diving, you don't need to learn this again. How cool is that? The same with, using the inflator hose. The inflator hose, in my opinion, should be cut off. Damn thing. Sorry for saying that, because it causes many issues. The thing is fine on the surface, but after that, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I see all these people, instructors and trainers included, go like this in open water. And of course, they don't really notice it because they go up half a meter or 1 meter and they adjust it again. But what about not having to adjust it? How cool is that? You use the OPV or your dump valve. This is the things you will see later on in the movies, and which my students are being taught. And I like to teach them this, and I like to dive like that, because it takes you to this moment. What I really like is that you're there, somewhere in the blue, and you can stay there without thinking about anything, and you can just absorb all this stuff, what's going around you, what's the fish, what's your bodies, and be, one with the water. And this is what I like, and this is what I want to teach you, and maybe you want to pick up on it. Okay, have fun with the videos. We had a lot of fun with it, and again, you make bubbles when you go up, because it's important. But when you're neutrally buoyant and when you're going down, you don't need to make the bubbles. But of course, you need to be sure that you're neutrally buoyant. Okay. So now we have being positive, the concept true buoyancy, being neutral buoyant, or being negatively buoyant, being negative. So if you're positive, the best thing to do is first deflate your lungs, so exhale. Don't start to play with inflator hose or with OPVs. OPVs are over pressure valves. Think about that. First try to do it with your lungs. Neutral buoyancy as explained in normal diving courses. Remember, this is somewhere in between your breathing, you'll kind of float or you do a Buddha. We want to take it a bit further. True neutral buoyancy is that you and your equipment without breathing are 100% neutral buoyant. Have a look at the video. You're negative, you're sinking. Now do not start to inflate your BC or do not start to inflate your dry suit. Try to swim up and breathe in and swim up to where you originally were neutrally buoyant. That's the way to go. Tricks. Deflate your wing from the OPV, the overpressure valve. This makes it possible that you stay horizontal. Your inflator hose is only used on the surface or in case of a real emergency. The reason behind this is that if you use your inflator to dump gas, you will need to lift up your body a little bit. The gas in your wing will start to move. That, together with the needle effect of lifting up your body, will make you lose your buoyancy, shoot up to the surface, or at least go up a little bit. Okay, so now how do we properly deflate the wing? Look at the video carefully. Circle around the OPV. Look at my hand, it circles around it, and look for the little cord in the middle. Pull the cord or the rope to the surface and not down is a mistake I see quite often. If you do it like this, you really don't need a little golf ball there in order to find your rope. Tricks 2. Deflate your dry suit properly. Lift up your shoulder and not your body, please. Inflate your dry suit and lift up your shoulder. And I'll do it again. Inflate your dry suit, and try this in shallow water, and just lift up your shoulder. This is why we want to have that valve open all the time. If you can't dive with the valve open, you should be playing midget golf. Another reason why we need good trim. If you'd be in the seahorse position, you couldn't do this. The gas would be escaping all the time. Trick number 3. Mask clearing. Do not look up. Look at the diver in the video. The diver is going to clear his mask and will not look up. By looking up, the knees would drop, the body would come up, the gas in the suit would move up, the gas in the wing would move up as well. This is something we don't want. We don't want to lose buoyancy, ever, if not necessary. Of course you can clear your mask by looking up. Of course you can use your inflator hose. Of course you can do all these things. But we don't want to lose buoyancy if you don't need to. The art of diving, guys. In the next clip you can see when everything comes together. Control, a few tricks, and then you get this ultimate feeling. Trim is the platform, buoyancy is the heart, and propulsion, that's the art of diving. If you want to dive like this, practice hard. It's not rocket science. Have fun, guys, and dive safe.